Man, I seriously thought the next video I would post would be me ranting about Boruto, but by popular demand, most of you guys wanted me to review Link to the Past. Keep in mind that my first Zelda experience was during the time of Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, so excuse me if my perspective of the game comes off as, I guess, harsh to some people, but let's find out how this game has aged since it was first released in 1991. And let's set a like goal for about 5 likes, and let's get my first-hand experience started with Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. So cue my intro. So let's jump straight into the story, which compared to my last review of Minish Cap, which you should definitely check out by the way, is way more complicated and a bit harder to understand, but I will try my best to simplify. Link to the Past chronically takes place after Ocarina of Time, and is placed in the other half of the story where Link was bested by Ganon and was utterly defeated. So due to this, the 7 sages had no choice but to seal Ganon along with the Triforce in the Sacred Realm. But due to Ganon having complete control over the Triforce's power, had already transformed the Sacred Realm into the Dark World, which we'll get to later into this review. But even though Ganon was sealed and all things seemed well, Hyrule was turned into a complete mess. Word eventually got around town via Hyrule's version of Twitter that the Triforce was sealed in another realm, and Hyruleans rushed to find a way to attain that power. But due to that greed, those people were transformed into hideous monsters and were trapped within the Dark World. So the King of Hyrule said, "Enough of that shit, I can't let these greedy bastards ruin my political outlook," and told the sages to seal the entrance between the light and the Dark World. And of course, due to this being a Zelda game, nothing can ever go as planned, as the fight to seal the entrance cost Hyruleans many lives, which resulted in a major drop in Hylians. Wow, this game is already starting to sound dark, but wait! There is more. Fast forward a couple of years and Hyrule is living as happy as ever, even though half the population was wiped out by Ganon. But like I said, due to this being a Zelda game, peace can't last forever, as a very dark and mysterious wizard named I don't even know how to pronounce this. What's with Nintendo and having most of these names being so hard to pronounce? Anyway, the wizard spent much time working alongside the King of Hyrule and eventually turned on him and turned him to ash. Holy shit, this really is Infinity War. Then Agnium, you know what, I'ma just call him the evil wizard. The evil wizard then captured all 6 maidens and sealed them away in the dungeon of the castle. One of those maidens, being Princess Zelda, calls upon our hero Link to help defeat the evil wizard and free the maidens. But before then, Link's uncle went out to the castle to see what's up and told Link to just stay put for his own good. But knowing the hero of the series, he simply just could not listen. He bravely rushed to the castle just to find his badly wounded uncle breathe his last words to Link and passed on the sword and shield to our hero to go and protect the maiden. After fighting off many possessed guards, we finally reach the princess and leave her in the care / not so care of the sanctuary. Thus, Link is told to go out into the world to collect 3 pendants to unlock the powers of the Master Sword, as this is the weapon to fully defeat the evils of the world. After a long, perilous journey of traveling through 3 palaces, Link obtains the pendants needed for the Master Sword, and shortly after hoisting the blade in the air, we are told Zelda has been kidnapped. You know, I kind of figured that would happen. So Link once again rushes to Hyrule Castle to face off against the evil wizard. But Link arrives a second too late, and Princess Zelda along with the other maidens are transferred into the Dark World. Link ends up beating the evil wizard, but in the last effort he transports Link into the Dark World to hopefully have him defeated by Ganon's army. Thus enters a unique game mechanic in which we can use a magic mirror to go between the light and the Dark World. But that will be touched upon later. As of now, we are told to go between both worlds to free every maiden that has been captured. So once again, Link travels through the dangerous and rage-inducing Dark World, and eventually saves every maiden. But we later find out that the evil wizard is merely a pawn of Ganon, so he can open the door to link both worlds into one and take control. And of course, before that happens, Link goes to Ganon's temple. If you haven't figured out already, he is the main villain and not the evil wizard. But we face off against the evil wizard again, and then we defeat him again. But this time Ganon rises from his dead body and turns into a bat for some reason. I didn't know Ganon was also Dracula, but he flies off to the Pyramid of Power, and with Link in hot pursuit, faces off in an epic battle. Link ends up defeating Ganon in one of the most anticlimactic ways, and saves Hyrule and restores everything to what it once was. Now that the story is done, let's talk gameplay now. The game definitely is a downplay to how Minish Cap was, but it definitely holds its own. But I can say you can definitely feel the drastic change in movement between games. Link and Link to the Past has a much stiffer movement, and it took me a long while till I finally got the hang of it, how to approach enemies. Maybe it's because I'm playing on an emulator, but who knows. Also considering I am probably one of the few people to actually die many times and just trying to save Zelda in the very beginning. I mean, just look how hard it is to hit these dudes. But enough of the normal enemies, time for the bosses, which really weren't that difficult if you're playing on a normal handheld. But I'm not, I am playing on an emulator, and these bosses were hard. I know you might be saying, oh Hoxen, you're just bad at the game, get good bro, MLG no scope that mofo. Nah man, these bosses are on another level. Sometimes I just felt myself just being completely overwhelmed or just not being able to time my dodges correctly because I only have 4 directions to go in. The only boss I didn't have trouble with is the evil wizard because he only has 4 moves in 4 directions, so that was a bit easier for me. But don't get me started on Moldon. Probably one of the most infamous boss battles in the Zelda franchise for how annoying he can be. And it's not that he is difficult, it's mainly just for how he bumps into you and you fall off the stage and you have to restart the whole battle all over again. I'd rather play Sonic 06 50 times than fight this boss. Not to mention he reappears in Ganon's temple, and this time, if you fall, you land on spikes down below. Like, what maniac thought this was a good idea? But these boss battles just got so hard for me that I eventually caved in and used cheat codes because screw the system, I just wanted to beat this game. So if you see me not taking damage throughout the review, that's why. But besides that, it's just your normal Zelda game, but this time around there are a whopping 11 palaces to go to in this game, each with their own unique styles and twists to them. By no means are they difficult, and you can honestly get through them without a guide because they are just that simple and straight to the point. Well, the first 3 palaces are, because once you get to the Dark World, the game does a complete 180 and racks up the difficulty like none other. Gone are the enemies that only do maybe around half a heart of damage, and enter the enemies that just do around 2 to 3 hearts of damage per hit. This makes it a complete hassle just to travel between palaces. But speaking of the palaces in the Dark World, most of them can be a bit tricky to get to, as you may have to travel back to the Light World, find a specific location, use the mirror, and go back to the Dark World just to access the palace. That right there is what I love about the Zelda series. They make damn sure you make great use of the items and that none of them go to waste. There are also medallions to collect along your journey which can be used to defeat hordes of enemies if you come to a situation where you are surrounded. Or you just may just need certain ones to access palaces in the Dark World. But make sure you have upgraded magic energy before using them, because these suckers use up a ton of your magic in just one use. So my advice is to never use these against a boss unless it's absolutely necessary, which 9 times out of 10 it won't be unless you are feeling desperate. Also FYI, while we are on the subject of items, make sure to upgrade your Master Sword when possible and to have the silver arrows because you cannot defeat Ganon without them. And if you don't have them, then it will just leave you in a very awkward situation where you'll be running around wondering why the boss fight is taking forever. And I don't want that to happen, you don't want that to happen, your family, your dog, your cat, your pet turtle Sheldon, nobody. So just please just take my advice. Okay, gotcha. Moving on. Besides that, Hyrule is your open world to explore. Do whatever you want in it. Collect your heart pieces, help civilians find their lost family members, save a flute boy, beat up some evil guards, fight some cuckoos, die, rinse and repeat. The world is for you to own, and remember, you are the hero. And if you fail, there is nobody to stop Ganon from taking over the world. So be a good little Link and go out there and kick some ass. Alrighty y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed my little review on Link to the Past. If you stuck around this long, I thank you so much and I appreciate it. And if you did, you are the real MVP, guys. And sorry if you didn't like me using cheats, I just needed to hurry up and finish this game before it was just too late. I just wanted to get this review out there, but once again, thank you so much for sticking around. And if you enjoyed it, and if you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And leave in the comment section below on your experiences with Link to the Past. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Discord and join my Discord, as that is where I do updates and interact with you all. Both are in the description below, and I will see you all in my next video. And keep in mind everyone, you can be a hero. Bye bye!